Hi, it's Brent Adams of Warming Center and Footbridge Services Center. This is a little catch-up. I'm just going to be very brief here. Of course, we're right in the middle of the benchlands cleanup, which means they're displacing easily 200 to 400 people with the lip service of offering them shelter, but there really isn't any authentic shelter available other than a few tents at the armory. It's a shuttle program. The idea that you've been in a camp with full autonomy to move around and then you're now going to be in a shuttle camp that is highly managed, it's just not really what many people want. They want to maintain their autonomy, so they're going to places like the woods, things like that. So Housing Matters, which gets many millions of dollars, their entire budget is already made, and yet they want increasingly more. They get free land from the city. A lot to be said about that. They put people on the pathway to non-existent housing, hundreds of housing vouchers just rotting. There's no real authenticity or honesty from anybody in the city government or these mega nonprofits or anybody who works for them. It's frustrating. You got a guy like me speaking the truth here. So what happens when a person goes to Housing Matters and asks for shelter? Well, they have no shelter. Of course, the lists are long. Far too few shelter beds in this community, especially for the number of people who are being pushed out. Well, they put you on the list, and then they say, camp in the woods. So we have numerous people coming into Santa Cruz now, people who have never been on the street, going into the woods. Well, who's in the woods? These are people who've been forced out of the benchlands, people who've been in the woods year after year. These are people who have a drug orientation, and then all of the trappings around that. There's aggression, there's theft. We know that no camp is safe. It's not that the police are taking our stuff. It's that homeless on homeless theft is rampant. Why? People are increasingly desperate because of this churning, ineffective system, perpetuated by the federal government, right, capitalism, whatever. But our community, we're not demanding appropriate shelter, transitional camps, enough agreement camps. The whole thing is just broken. So you have an entity like Housing Matters. They don't offer blankets. There's no help with tents. There's no support for people who are camping. An organization like ours, you get everything from beanies to socks, razors, deodorant, blankets, and we gave hundreds of tents away in the last year. And then the year before that, almost 1,000 tents we gave away. But we give support and instruction of how to camp in the woods. We'll show you areas where you can go, where not to go. But it just really is frustrating with a multi-million-dollar entity like Housing Matters that says they're putting people on the pathway to housing, non-existent housing, is directing people into the woods with no support. The whole system is broken. We are in trouble, and you're not getting any truth from anywhere. It's a incredible problem, and things are only going to get massively, increasingly worse in the future.